What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Wolf Gets Wrecked. Today we're going to be continuing to use the team that Aaron used to win regionals a couple weeks ago, and we're still learning with it, but, you know, we'll figure it out along the way. So, last episode was a little rough for us, one win, one loss, but hopefully we're going to do a little better today. We're back to Music 10 because Music 10 is just really perfect. Couldn't ask for better music, and you'll notice this time that I've been practicing my tech skill. I didn't overshoot. That's the word I want. Overshoot my goal. So this guy's over 1800 and he's got Starmie and Manectric. So that's really interesting. This is a really cool team. His restricted Pokemon are Kyogre and Ho-Oh, which isn't an extremely common combination. There was a period where both Kyogre and Ho-Oh were used together because they have a solid matchup versus Big Six, but yeah, so in this matchup, normally I would love Thundurus here, but the fact that he has Manectric is really worrying because it stops a lot of... Oh, I don't have Thundurus. This is Aaron's team. Okay, cool. Looking at this team, it looks like Bronzong is going to be really solid. This guy doesn't have a Taunt user, and because of that, it should be easy for me to get... relatively easy for me to get Trick Room up, and Groudon and Gravity should just sweep through this entire team. So, looking at this team, that's what I'm going to be aiming for. I need to decide what to pair Groudon with, though. What to pair Bronzong with. Instinct, like, my natural instinct is to use probably Salamence, but I'm not sure if that's ideal here. It could be Mawile. I don't know what Starmie does either. I'm a little worried about that Starmie. I can also lead with Groudon. I don't know exactly if that's what Aaron is commonly, like Aaron does often, but I think that's a solid option, to be honest. So, running out of time, I'm going to be bringing... I'm going to lead Salamence into my comfort lead. I don't really know what else to do, and I think the thing is, like, Dual Primal is just super solid. So, I personally prefer having Protect on my Trick Room users because it lets you delay setting up Trick Room, which when you have a Pokemon like Salamence up front is pretty nice. Yeah, and I feel pretty solid actually about bringing Kyogre in the back. At first I didn't because he has a lot of things that do well against it. Salamence and Ferrothorn, really interesting. Cool. But yeah, I actually like that Kyogre allows me to... I really like that Kyogre allows me to have a solid matchup versus Ho-Oh. So we see Salamence and Ferrothorn for my opponent. Ferrothorn's pretty problematic. I could have led Groudon, but it wasn't necessarily ideal. And so... yeah, Ferrothorn overall is just a problematic Pokemon. I think Bronzong should be going for the Trick Room here. I wish I had... I'm going to need to play really carefully with my Groudon because that's basically the only thing I have for this opposing Ferrothorn. And because this situation's also a little trickier because I do not carry Draco Meteor on Aaron's Salamence. So I'm going to go Trick Room and Protect here. The idea is that if Protect goes up and he Mega Evolve Draco Meteors, I will suddenly be in the speed advantage, which gives me an advantage if Trick Room does go up. He could use a Fire move here, but because he has Ho, I don't think that's ideal. But of course, this guy's 1810 with a weird team, so like we're gonna have to expect him to use some different stuff. Like this could totally be Substitute Ferrothorn. It could be Fire move on Ment. So let's just go see what happens. Draco Meteor on Salamence. So now we're gonna be faster, and Leech Seed comes out onto the Bronzong. So if this were my set, I would really be happy to use Substitute here, but it's not my set, so it makes things a little bit trickier. So Leech Seed on Bronzong, that's not ideal at all, but it's also not the end of the world. Okay. Now what I'd love to do here, quite honestly, is to get my Groudon in somehow, but I'm not sure if that's necessarily... I'm not sure how probable that is, how possible that is. I think an option to note that's really important is that I can skill swap and take his Aerialate. The question here for me is, do I want to stay in with my Groudon? I'm sorry, stay in with my Salamence. Like, is this opposing Salamence going to Protect here? And I'm going to go ahead and take a risk and say, yes, it's going to Protect. I think he has really good reason to Protect here. He knows he's faster. I think Protector Switch is going to be solid. I also preserve Intimidate, but if I lose Groudon here, it's going to be really bad for me. So yeah, we're sending Groudon in, and I'm going to go ahead and set up the Gravity this turn, because, yes, I want to set Gravity up, and I want to start using Precipice Blades. The fact that his Ferrothorn underspeeds me is pretty scary, but yeah, I just need to be careful with my Groudon here. So Groudon comes in, sets up the Desolate Land. Let's go ahead and see what that opposing Salamence does. Salamence is switching out, so, okay. Not bad at all. This is, I don't know my Japanese names. Ho-Oh, excellent. So that's actually perfection. I couldn't have asked for a better. So Excellent. Okay, cool. So now we are in a really commanding position, and I feel really good about this. So the reason why this is so good is that we know that his opponent we know that what he has in back is Salamence, and we also have pretty good reason to believe that his last mon is Kyogre. So he can't really stop the Precipice Blades. What he can do actually is he can set up Leech Seed onto my Groudon. But outside of that, I mean, I'm okay with that. I think I should be still putting on more pressure, and there's not even a guarantee that he'll do that. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and launch a Skill Swap onto my Groudon, give it Levitate, but that's not really the real point here, just in case a Kyogre switches in here, or maybe there's a better move. So, like, I'd like to get Bronzong out here, to be honest, but the only real option I have to switch in is the Salamence. But keeping that in mind, I still think I like my position. I need to preserve Bronzong in case Trick Room ends at some point, so getting another Intimidate onto this Ferrothorn, and like what's most likely is either a switch to Kyogre or potentially, like, if Ferrothorn, I think Ferrothorn either protects or Leech Seeds here. Let's find out. Okay, so Ho is out, so something's taking a Precipice Blades, probably this Kyogre. That might be Mence, actually. Yeah, so Salamence is going to take the Precipice Blades, and this guy just, he's not worried about Fire Punch. That was a good move on his part. I could have gone after that Ferrothorn, but I decided I want to try and threaten the partner. Like, I thought it could be a potential Kyogre switch in, and that Aaron set must be really, really offensive, because that did quite a bit of damage. And I don't think that was... I think Leftovers goes before Leech Seed, so that's not a Leftovers on the freaking Ferrothorn. So I believe Precipice Blades plus Hyper Voice should pick up the KO here, but now let's think. So Trick Room went up one turn. As I got turn 2, I got Groudon in. That was turn 3, I believe. That might have been turn 4. Ideally I could use Tailwind in the last turn. Let's think. Trick Room went up. Groudon switched in. Salamence to protect. Ho switched in. No, Groudon switched in. Ho switched in. This is turn 4. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and launch a Hyper Voice plus a Precipice Blades, and my goal here is on the last turn of Trick Room to, and he stays in. Interesting. So my goal here is the last turn of Trick Room to go Precipice Blades, to like threaten stuff, and also use Tailwind, so I can get the speed advantage for the rest of the game. So something's protecting. I think that's Ferrothorn. Let's see if it's a double protect. It might not be. It is a double protect. So complicates things a little bit, because now all of a sudden I'm not sure if I want to go Hyper Voice here or if I want to go Tailwind. But regardless, let's think. I think Tailwind here is still my better option. It lets me still, like, because basically, like, Ferrothorn, yes, it can chip away at my Groudon, but like Groudon, because it's not an Eruption set and because it doesn't rely on Eruption for its primary damage option, it really, like, I just need to I need to KO the other Pokemon, and then when I'm ready, I can take care of this Ferrothorn. And I wouldn't be super surprised to see a Kyogre switch in here, but because I used Precipice Blades last turn and not Fire Punch, I think there's a good chance he stays in here. So I'm just going Tailwind, Precipice Blade. Going to try and maintain the speed advantage, because it really is threatening. Groudon and Gravity is just really, really threatening to like most of an opponent's team, especially because he Mega Evolved turn 1, thus sacrificing his Intimidate. So we know he has Ho in the back, so his switches on that front are pretty limited, and he probably has Kyogre. It doesn't make much sense in my opinion to bring Starmie. So double protect attempt, fails both. Could have gotten a double KO here, but I didn't go for it. And we're going to do a lot more damage to that Salamence and a lot more damage to that Ferrothorn, taking out the Salamence. Now my Salamence is probably the fastest Pokemon that he has, and it's Citrus Berry, so that's good to know. It's not Lumberry. And let's keep in mind that the Ferrothorn is still at -2, so yeah, Tailwind goes up, and I think Trick Room should end, or I've counted wrong. Let's see. So Leech Seed, it's another turn of Leech Seed damage. At some point I should probably consider switching my Groudon out. Yeah. Trick Room is out, Tailwind is up. So now I've got 3 more turns of Tailwind to do some work. So this is probably going to be Kyogre. It doesn't make any sense to switch Ho in here. Though I'd rather see Ho out. I think that's Kyogre. Yeah, okay. So now we're in an interesting position. Let's think. I believe Aaron's Salamence is more specially oriented in the offensive stat, but I'm not entirely sure. So let's think about this. The thing is, I can probably get the KO with Double Edge and Precipice Blades, but I'm not sure if that is really ideal. Groudon kind of sweeps through the rest of this guy's team pretty easily, so I think I'm going to make a defensive play here. Hopefully he doesn't go for a Water Spout. Oof. No, you know, I'll stay in here. I'm gonna try and take out this Kyogre. Just put on exert offensive pressure. See what happens. I would be pretty surprised to see his Kyogre not protect, but I think if Kyogre is down, I think my Kyogre, given the fact that his Ferrothorn's at -2, let's keep that in mind. Attack stat and the fact that it doesn't have leftovers, so a single burn from Scald, and it doesn't have Lum either. So okay, he actually doesn't protect here. So Double Edge is gonna come out, do hopefully enough. I believe that should be enough to Kyogre to let the KO be picked up with Precipice Blades. Precipice Blades comes out, Rain will now be off the field, and yeah, it does still a lot of damage to that Ferrothorn. So this is a big reason why I prefer leftovers on my Ferrothorn, because all that time he could have been healing HP. And Power Up is coming out, so if I had switched to my Kyogre, which I was pretty close to doing, it would have been bad news bears. But ended up working out in my favor. And yeah, I don't know. I feel pretty solid about this. And I think my play from here should be pretty solid. Should be pretty clear. The fact that Gravity ends there is not bad, not great. But I don't really think there's much of a problem for the rest of this game. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean this one up. I'm going to use Double Edge onto the Ferrothorn, and I'm going to go ahead and switch in my Kyogre because I don't want my Salamence to get burnt. And the game should be pretty much clear from here on out. So yeah, solid game to my opponent. It was cool. I would have liked to see that Manectric or that Starmie, but I guess he didn't feel he needed them. And yeah, I think this is a really good example of part of what makes Aaron's team so threatening. Trick Room, like the thing is, speed control is so huge in VGC 16, and so as you can see here, like the fact that I consistently had the speed advantage between Trick Room and Tailwind was just so important. So he's gonna go ahead and protect the Ferrothorn. I could have used Hyper Voice, but I wasn't sure it would pick up the KO. And he's gonna go ahead and use Brave Bird. So interesting. So I hope this doesn't KO my Mence. I don't think it will. It could be on my Kyogre as well. So yeah, that's aimed at Salamence. Salamence hangs in there because Aaron's spread is solid and leftovers on the Ho-Oh. So now we see a little bit like it makes more sense now why Ferrothorn does not hold those leftovers. And we still have Tailwind up. I didn't even realize. So again, I think Hyper Voice should pick up the KO here, but I'm just not willing to risk it. Actually, you know what? Because I'm faster, because I still have Tailwind up, I can actually do Hyper Voice Water Spout and not have to risk it at all. But yeah, it doesn't matter. The game is over at this point, so we win without losing a Pokemon, although he does forfeit. But yeah, that was a really solid game. It's easy to see why Aaron's team is so solid. So yeah, good game to my opponent. I'm really sorry, guys. I just realized I didn't talk about color coordination in that game, but I don't know. Let's think. Ho-Oh, Kyogre. I can't do it with my head. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. He did have that nice red, blue, green combo, I'm sure. And also I guess Starmie is also blue. So we're going to go ahead and look for another game. Roy quick here and go ahead and challenge. We're up to 1659, which isn't extremely high, but you know, we're climbing, you know. It's the climb. It's the Miley Cyrus song. Yeah, so now we're playing Ju, Big Stick. Oh, we're not reading that. This is highly inappropriate. Ju from France. I don't approve of that. And another Lightning Rod Pokemon. So this is interesting. I have to keep reminding myself that I'm using Aaron's team. So when I see this team, I'm like, oh, like I'd like Thundurus, but you know, like Raichu makes it pretty tough to bring Thundurus, and I'm like, wait, I don't have Thundurus. So let's see. Looking at this one, Landorus is interesting. Aaron's team, I don't think it has a phenomenal matchup against Landorus. I like Smeargle's Wide Guard here. I don't really know. This guy doesn't have any speed control, but he has some slow Pokemon and some. It could be Scarf Landorus, but we have to be careful. So, looking at this team, Groudon and Gravity sweeps through everything. Like Groudon next to Bronzong pretty much wins the game. But we have to watch out for some of the opponent's Pokemon, such as Landorus, such as Yveltal. Ooh, I'm gonna have to watch out for that Yveltal. That's gonna be important. So I think I'm tempted to bring either Mawile or Smeargle up front here, and not my Salamence because I need to put on pressure onto that Yveltal. I think I'm going to go Mawile here with Bronzong and the old Groudon Kyogre in the back. That Yveltal is really threatening, but the fact that I can't protect my Bronzong is just so worrying. And I don't know if Aaron's Bronzong will live a boosted Dark Pulse. I guess Yveltal is kind of problematic for his team. So probably expect some kind of Raichu plus Yveltal lead, or maybe Landorus plus Yveltal. I wouldn't be super surprised to see that. And yeah, we're just going to have to do our best here because yeah, this is definitely a tough matchup. Yveltal, I'm not sure how Aaron deals with it if it has proper support. So, and this is another situation, like I mentioned earlier, this is a big reason why I like having Protect on my, This is a big reason why I like having Protect on my Trick Room setters, because versus a Fake Out lead, you can Protect. Although versus Encore Pokemon like Raichu, you don't necessarily want to Protect. So yeah, that's that. Kyogre's gonna go ahead and Mega Evolve. It's not, I'm sorry, Primal Devolve. It's holding the blue orb again. It's not shiny, so we know it's probably not guaranteed to be hacked. And I don't think Raichu gets roleplay, and I don't think Raichu normally runs roleplay either. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch in my Groudon. Hope that he doesn't do some crazy kind of reset his weather trick, and I'm going to go for the Trick Room. It's likely that I'm going to use like a Fake Out and Water move here on my Bronzong, but nonetheless, I still feel, because I can't protect here, and because even if I could protect, I wouldn't, I feel like my Groudon is pretty solid. So we see Raichu and Kyogre, so his other Pokemon are Sylveon, Mawile. Oh, I didn't talk about color again! I'm so sorry. Why do you guys even watch this? Yeah. Let's see what the 4 he brings, how their color coordination is. So, his other Pokemon is Yveltal. His other restricted Pokemon is Yveltal. So yeah, Fake Out. So, Fake Out onto Bronzong. No surprises there. Let's go ahead and see what this does. Probably a Water move. Ice Beam. So he predicts that easily. He says, okay, Wolf, like, I'm not falling for this. That did quite a lot of damage as well. Good move to my opponent. Yeah, this guy. Okay, so this guy's no chump. It would be very bad to lose my Groudon right here. So I can protect and play it safe, like very safe, or I can Precipice Blades. I like to live on the edge, so I'm just gonna go Precipice Blades and launch Trick Room here because I like to live on the edge. Raichu switching out, so hopefully my Groudon should make it through its turn. Yveltal switches in, so that's interesting. It could. Oh, Yveltal probably has Sucker Punch. That's a drag. So let's see what Kyogre does. Kyogre switches out as well, so double switch, and I'm gonna go ahead and set Trick Room up, and that's Landorus. Interesting. Landorus comes in here. So we've seen all 4 of my opponent's Pokemon, but he's definitely in the stronger situation right now. And my Groudon is going to go ahead and use Precipice Blades, and it just does not work at all. And Bronzong goes for Trick Room. So though Trick Room is up, I had to sacrifice quite a bit to get that. So in this situation, Yveltal is a really big threat because of its ability to Sucker Punch. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and try and sacrifice my Bronzong and go for Skill Swap to dodge the Earthquake on my Groudon and go for a Rock Slide. Yveltal's protecting, so this could very well be an Earthquake, which is okay. So Bronzong goes for the Skill Swap. Gonna go ahead and swap the skills. Now Groudon is floating. So Weather's gonna fade? Yeah, Weather's fading, but it's back up. And at this point, we're just gonna hope for some. Oh, I Fire Punch. I didn't Rock Slide. I forgot that I didn't Rock Slide. I didn't Rock Slide specifically because I didn't want to accidentally activate Weakness Policy. So Bronzong actually hangs in there. So, what do you do here? What do I do here? He doesn't have Mawile. I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do here is launch. I'm tempted to skill swap the Yveltal. This is I'm running out of Trick Room turns though. You know what? No. Okay, what I'm gonna do here is Protecting Gravity. It may seem counterintuitive to do this. Hopefully he Earthquakes himself. I'm not totally sure what will happen here. Sucker Punch, gonna fail. I'm using Gravity. Basically, I want to get into a situation where next turn, I have my Sweepers in for free, and I don't think, if I had to guess, I would guess that, oh, it's not even, oh my god, please KO. Please KO. Yes, very nice. I want to get him into a situation where I can just sweep through him. So I have lost my Trick Room setter, but despite that, I feel pretty solid. I have to choose now if I want Mawile or Kyogre. Mawile is nice because it weakens the power of all of his attacks. So I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and get Kyogre in here. If I had to guess, I would say there's a pretty good chance that Landorus is Assault Vest, which is fine, to be honest. So now I'm gonna be trying to get myself into a position where I can just sweep through him. So Trick Room went up, Skill Swap. This is turn 4 of Trick Room, unless I'm much mistaken. So the fact that he can just Sucker Punch me is pretty worrying. So I have to decide here: do I want to get my Groudon out, or do I want to Precipice Blades? And that's an important question, because if I get Groudon out, I reset my ability to get Sun Up later, and I get intimidated on that Yveltal. So I think that's actually what I'm going to do. If I can start taking KOs, I need to start taking KOs quickly. And it is good that I don't think that Landorus can protect, because it didn't take Life Orb damage and it did switch moves. So I think there's a good chance it's Assault Vest. Mawile's coming back in here. I would probably expect maybe him to sacrifice his Landorus here, or potentially to switch his Landorus to his Kyogre. which is also fine. So yeah, Yveltal's protecting, so it actually could be Focus Sash on that Landorus, which would be really bad. I didn't think about that one. But we're hoping it's Assault Vest. It probably is Sash. I should have just pressed his blades. That's okay. So thankfully, it's going to pick up the KO there. And now I like this positioning because we have one more turn of Trick Room, so I'm going to have to be really careful. But if I can just get one more KO, then my weather will be the dominant weather, which is Sun. So looking back at this game already, you can see that I kind of wasted a turn with the skill swap onto the... Oh, and he doesn't bring in his... Interesting. So he doesn't bring in his Raichu, so he's not going to be going for Fake Out. So in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and Play Rough the Yveltal because it can't protect. So I may hit this Raichu, but I'm kind of okay with that. And I'm going to go ahead and switch my Kyogre to Groudon. Yeah, I think that's a solid play. I don't want my Maul. I could also have gone Water Spout and Play Rough the Kyogre, but I feel like this play is safer because Kyogre could protect or could Water Move. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to Ice Beam because he'd be having he could make the hard read. Yeah, so he's going into Raichu. But I like my positioning here a bit more than his at this point. So Maul is going to Mega Evolve. Hopefully this is either a Water Move or a Protect. But we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to watch out for the Yveltal because late game it can definitely sweep me. So best move there would have been Water Spout, Play Rough, but I didn't feel super comfortable. Okay, yeah, and we should have realized that the Landorus probably didn't have the Sash because Raichu probably had it. Though sometimes Raichu run Volt Tackle, so it's not guaranteed. So let's keep in mind that Gravity is actually still up here. And so with a bit of prior damage, I believe that Sucker Punch boosted from that Yveltal's Dark Aura will KO Kyogre. So what I need to do here is, so in this situation, yeah, you may be thinking, okay, Wolf, he threatens you pretty hard with that Fake Out pressure, so I could protect both, but I think putting him in a situation where he is unable to KO both my Unexpected. Okay, Unexpected. Let's go ahead and see what this... Maybe it's Super Fang? Nuzzle. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting. Well, yeah, he goes for the Nuzzle. My Groudon's going to use Precipice Blades and pick up the KO on that Raichu because Gravity's up and it cannot miss, and he's already revealed the item. But yeah, that makes things a little more interesting. Now we're rolling a few more dice. So, yes, and we still don't know technically who's faster between my Groudon and his Kyogre. Ooh, and the full paralysis, which just means absolutely nothing. Is the guy still here? Okay, yeah, Yveltal. So Yveltal's back in, and unless I haven't been paying any attention at all, Gravity should still be up. So Mawile is really, really, really important here, I think, because he's going to have a lot of trouble damaging it as long as Sun is up. So I'm just going to try and kind of pin him down at this point. I'm going to protect my Groudon because Mawile is only safe from that Kyogre as long as Sun is up. So I'm going to protect my Groudon here, and because we know Kyogre protected last turn from Play Rough, although I can OHKO the Yveltal, I cannot OHKO the Kyogre, I'm still going to go ahead and use what I view as the safe move. So he doesn't protect his Yveltal, which is really interesting. I probably should have gone for that, to be honest. Yveltal's going knockoff into Mawile, so he's realized how threatening that Mawile is, and that's actually a lot of damage. Oh, because it's Life Orb. And this is probably an Ice Beam into the Mawile as well. So good move on my opponent's part. I could have pressed with Blaze there. That was a good read from his end. And I actually think Sucker Punch would have done significantly more there to my Mawile because I'm not holding an item, but maybe he didn't want to risk it. So yes. Now I'm in a situation where Gravity's back to normal. This is tough. This is really tough. I can Sucker Punch his Kyogre. The only way that he gets rid of my Groudon or my Mawile is if he doubles into it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use Fire Punch on this Yveltal. Hope that it doesn't protect. Hope that Kyogre protects from my Sucker Punch. Kyogre's protecting. I doubled into the Yveltal, so hopefully the worst case scenario is that I lose Groudon and... okay, so let's see if Groudon survives. If Groudon does survive, I think I should have a pretty decent shot of taking this one home. I'm sorry, if I can get rid of the Yveltal this turn. We've seen Knockoff, we've seen Sucker Punch, and I think we've seen Protect. So it doesn't matter at this point. Player is going to connect. So now we're in a situation where all I need to do to win is to hit a few attacks. And also, regardless of what happens, even if I should lose my Groudon and get a lot of full paralysis, is because my Kyogre's at full HP and we've seen Origin Pulse, we can probably expect that he doesn't have Thunder. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and protect here just to be safe. He might forfeit, actually. I wouldn't be super surprised. He doesn't forfeit. So Groudon's using protect, and Mala is going to go ahead for the Sucker Punch. Let's see his full paralyzed. Okay, so Mala is fully paralyzed, so not a great turn for me. Ice Beam comes out into Groudon, so once again, not ideal, but that's okay. We're going to go for the Fire Punch here. I don't like to miss. Fire Punch will put him into Christmas Blade's range. I mean, Ice Beam range, I'm sorry. So Mawile does use Sucker Punch. This should clean up the game, based on the spreads. And yeah, good game to my opponent. That was really tough, to be honest. Raichu putting on pressure is really scary, and like he played really well with that Landorus and that Yveltal. I think that match did a really good job of showing why Yveltal is so threatening, because that turn where he double switches into his dual flying types is I set up Trick Room and I don't threaten him anymore, and like I don't know. I think that's a really important turn. Throughout, like in the game, and to realize like what he did there and why it was so effective and so safe. So well played to my opponent. That was really impressive. Yeah, I don't know. So that's the end of that one. Thank you guys for watching. It's really cool to be able to use Aaron's team. I feel like I'm starting to learn to use it a little better after that first game, or the first episode. But yeah, if you guys like what you see here, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you're interested in Aaron stuff, go check out. He's got a lot of games of this team on his channel. So, and you can also see this in tournament matches where he uses it. So if you're interested in learning to use the team like very, very well from its original creator, check that out. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.